Hi, Sid and Cynthia Nitch. Wanted to just go over how to create a story, and I'll just do the first one with you. So you have this left, let me get rid of this. You have this left title bar here. I'm going to expand it, and you can click on stories, or you can click here if you want, but I'll click stories here. So you want it to be responsive, and you want to choose classic design. And what we want to do first is we actually want to grab our model, right? So I'm going to click on data here, and I'm going to choose model, and I'm going to select the model that I created in assignment 1. So I'll double click on Spring 305, Learn 441. That's me. You would double click on your Learn number. So I'll double click on mine. And it'll just show you what measures that you have, and so that you're able to kind of see what you can do with graphs. That's kind of how I see it and how it benefits me. When you do your final project, you probably want to look at this as well and see what things that you actually can measure right in your graph. So I can show the dimensions, like if I wanted to look at customers here, I could see all my customers, US customers. Does this look familiar? UE, so United East and United West. Here's the customers in that area, and so forth. It's just good to kind of look at it and maybe get an idea of what you want to show as your charts. So when you're done with this, I can just click on story, because now I've connected my model to my story. And here's page 1. If you wanted, obviously you're going to do 6 pages, so you would click here and do page 6 and so forth. On your actual canvas here, or area that you want to work in, we don't need 2 of these. So I'm going to just click here on this little guy, and I can kind of scroll to the right and see my 3 dots, and I would click there and I would say delete. So I'm only going to do 1 lane on my on this page, and what they want us to do is enter a title, and so that title is going to be Global Bike, but they want us to be able to see like kind of the features they have available to you. So they want to show you that you can go to the 3 dots here and you can add dynamic text. And so instead of typing in who you are, you can just click on current user, and if you click create, then that'll pop in to your title. So then they want us to do that. So that I type that in, I use a dynamic text, and then they want to know what page it is. So I'm just going to click on the end of my user ID, and I'm going to press space, and I'm going to type in page. And then I'm going to do another space, because in the instructions, they want you to do the page number using the dynamic text, which is tab number. So when I click create, you'll see that that's what that looks like. All right, so this is the title of my page, and then we're only going to do 1 chart, but obviously you could title your different charts on the screen, right? So what I want to do, I don't know if this would be easier for you to understand, but this is, if you want to view it as a viewer, you would click here and say, oh, that's what it looks like. And then when you wanted to edit it, you want to make sure and edit. You have these 2 things called the designer and controls. We're not going to be using controls for this graph, but we will be using designer. So when I click designer, it has 2 options. I can style or I can build. And on this, I already kind of wrote my what I wanted on here as my title. So all I need to do is style it. So I could choose a background color that I want. If I wanted a border, I could do it. And then if I wanted like to insert a picture or shape, I would. Okay, so that is kind of my title of my page. So now what I want to do is I want to create a geo map, right? So what I want to do is I want to click on this insert section, and I want to choose geo map. And then you'll notice that we're still in designer, and now this is a builder of that geo map, and then this is the designer of that geo map. So I'm going to go to my builder, and I know it's going to be a base map because that's what I wanted. And then it was like, what kind of map do you want? And it's the default really is the one we want. And that's it. So what we want to now do is do our layers. So add our dimensions, right? So when I go to add layer, it says, what kind of layer do you want? And I want this coroplast drill layer. And then it says, well, what's your local dimension? And my dimensions customer location. It was like the only one available for this type of map, right? And then it's asking me what color do you want to do as like the heat color, so like heat map color. And that's going to be revenue. So I'm going to click on revenue there. So when they do revenue, they kind of do it, you know, this is 0 and this is 100. It doesn't really matter because we're doing US dollars, so obviously it would be this. And just kind of shows the different colors. But this legend doesn't really help us at this point. This is called layer 1. So layer 1 legend's not all that great. But you can mess with the colors if you want. You can do any of these colors, or you can do these, whatever you want and what stands out, right? I don't know if I like that orange. I might go this color, and I could do opacity 80, or I can kind of go down and make it a little translucent, and then I could do ranges. The ranges don't really help on this one because we're just working with US dollar here. But if I did like 3 ranges, like a middle, a good, you know, the top, lower, and the middle, and you can change those ranges to as many ranges as you want. But that's kind of what we're showing here. So the idea of this chart is just to show the United States, not Alaska, but kind of like just in this area here. So we want to kind of focus on that. So I just want to go on here to navigate my hierarchy, and I want to hierarchy the region. So now it's going to just show me the regions of where my customers are. And I don't really care about this because I'm just focusing on the United States. So I like to the instructions have you go to this polygraph filter and do a square and kind of draw where you want to see and press enter. And then it'll kind of focus on that. If that's not enough, I would just click on plus and then make this bigger. Pretty. Okay, so now that I have the locations or the regions of where I sell the revenue for US dollar, now I'm ready to do a second layer. So in the instructions, they might have you kind of clean up your style now, or you could do your style later. I like to kind of get all my layers done and then kind of decorate, if you will, once I'm finished. But you can always do it. I'm not going to do it now, but I'll show you. Would go to styling and you would be like, well, what's your background color? I guess I could do it now, and I'd do blue, or maybe I would do yellow, who knows. And then it would say, do you want a border, and how dark or light do you want it? Your font size, you have font size for your map title, which is right here. And then you have font size for your subtotal, which is right here. So if I were to do map title, I could do a font. I kind of like that font. I don't mind it. I guess. I could choose a different color just to show you. See how it turns blue? I'm actually need to retitle this map, and I also need to enter a subtitle. So I'll do that in a little bit as well. Okay, so we're on layer 1 here, and I know that if I click here, I'm in layer 1, right? And I'm kind of done with layer 1, so I'm going to click OK. And now I have layer 1, so now I'm going to add another layer, and it's going to show bubbles on where I'm actually selling. And then we can do some other stuff as well. So I'm going to click Add Layer. I want a bubble. The location's still customer, but the bubble color isn't revenue. Now it's sales quantity. So I'm going to click sales quantity, and there you go. So the instructions don't ask you to do bubble size. Here, I'm going to click like that. I like it like this. But you can mess with it. I won't count it wrong, right? And I do sales quantity on bubble size, and then you'll just get a bigger bubble on the better markets. And that's a little big for my bubbles, so I'm just gonna lower it a little bit. See how I have contrasting colors? They're not that great contrasting, right? Because they're just like a shade of each other. I just don't, there's not really a good way to get that like awesome looking, because even still, maybe these are a little darker than this, but it's just not as contrasting as I would like. I don't know. So just try one that you like, and try to make sure they don't all look alike, right? But obviously this one's going to be the darkest because it's the highest. I don't know. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Like that's, who knows? So you kind of figure out what color you want, and you don't have to do the bubbles, but I like to do the bubbles because I think they look better and you can kind of tell what's going on. And then you have obviously the styler again, and you're like, well, what's the background color? I think it's kind of the same. I don't think it really does much because you can't really see anything. If I clicked on the whole thing, like if I click here, I get this. If I click in here, I get what's the page color of this one. What if I did gradient and I did blue? Or you could do, yeah, I just don't see a lot of variety. Oh, here, let's, oh, that's a little much. But, okay, so anyway, a background, here's your, oh, that's lane, sorry, but we only had one lane, so it doesn't even really matter. All right, so I'm going back here, clicking back on my chart here. I'm on layer 2. If I wanted to do ranges, I could. It's up to you, and my bubble size as well. And then I'm kind of done, so I click OK. So I have both my layers done, and now I just want to kind of clean it up. I kind of make that smaller. So they want us to do an input control, meaning that I could go in and choose like show me all the off-road men biking, or show me all the accessories, or show me, it just says all the accessories. It doesn't give you specifically like air pump or chain lock, but I'll show you how to do that. So they want you to go up here and they want you to choose a dimension, and we're going to choose product. And under product, we'll do product dimension. And we're just going to go description, product hierarchy. I'm going to do all. And all means all accessories and all bikes. And I'm going to click OK. And now this is a little bit of a filter, right? So if I click on it and I want to see something in particular, I could just click on this and I want to see all the road bikes. So I'll click off that and I'll click road bikes. And then it'll recalibrate and so show me where the road bikes. I don't really see much of a difference. If I were to step back and look at this map, I would be like, I mean, this was my top seller anyway. I would assume that they might have that top, or maybe this might have been my top seller. So I guess it's surprising. I think Beantown Bikes takes it all, right? It doesn't really have a disparate numbers across board. So anyway, so that's how you do a kind of like a drill down maybe. And then the last thing they want us to do is do a comment. And so I'm going to click on my chart again and I'm going to add a comment. And I'm not very creative today, so I'll just write add comment. What if I do comment added? And then I click add comment. Sometimes when you guys turn things in, I won't see that little bubble there, but it is in your instructions, but I won't count it wrong if that bubble doesn't appear when you do your screenshot. On some of these things, if you want to clean it up, I felt like it was kind of messy in a way, but I would hide things. Like I would hide the scale. I don't really care about that. And maybe even the legend, but it's up to you. this would be your first one. I would have to go in here and clean it up a little bit. I forgot what I named it. Let me look it up. It's pretty obvious, but I don't have a good memory, so. Okay, so it's global bike sales in the United States, and then I'll put my name up here. And then my subtitle is 2017 through 2019. Oops, didn't catch. 2017 through 2019. All right, and then that would be page 1. Make sure you don't just go off my video, that you actually go through the instructions, because I might have missed something, but basically that's how you do it. And then when you're ready, you would click on responsive, and that would be page 2, and you would do the page 2 chart. So I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.